Hi there. I've been making short videos about autistic experiences, explaining things clearly and calmly, but I realized I haven't really shared what it's been like living as a late diagnosed autistic adult. In this video, I want to share a bit of my story, growing up feeling unseen, masking to fit in, eventually being diagnosed, and what I've been learning about living in a way that actually works for me. This isn't about giving advice or saying I figured everything out. It's just me sharing my experiences in the hopes it might help someone feel a little less alone. To explain why I'm making this video, it helps to start at the beginning. What growing up felt like for me. Growing up, I mostly felt invisible. And when you're invisible for long enough, it starts to feel like there's something wrong with you. I often felt like the butt of a joke I didn't understand. Like everyone else was in on something I'd missed. I didn't think of myself as different in a neutral way. I thought I was just not a very good person because nobody seemed to like me as I was. So I learned to mask. I learned to adjust myself, edit myself, try to fit into whatever shape seemed more acceptable. And that followed me for most of my childhood and honestly, a big part of my adulthood too. Feeling unseen and struggling to belong without having language for why. Feeling like that for so long meant I had to find a way to survive socially, and that's where masking came in. For me, masking looked like trying to be funny. I became the class clown, or at least I tried to. I watched what other people did that got laughter or attention and I copied it. But it almost always backfired. I could never quite figure out the rules. And when it didn't work, I didn't think to myself, this isn't for me. I thought, I've done it wrong again. The cost of that was my sense of who I actually was, and the exhaustion of constantly pretending around people at school, around people I was supposed to be friends with. I won't call them school friends because I didn't really have any. That pattern followed me into adulthood. I kept trying to pretend. I changed my personality over and over and over again, hoping one version would finally stick, one version would be liked by everyone around me and it would all just work out. Eventually, it just became a mess of different selves I couldn't keep up with and I burned out. There was a point where I realized I can't keep faking it until I make it, like I kept telling myself over and over again. This wasn't working. Eventually, I needed a change. Moving to a new country gave me an unexpected chance to experience something different. Moving to a new country gave me something I hadn't really had before. A small, strong network of people who believed in me, the real me. Even when I didn't fully understand who that was myself. For the first time in my life, I was encouraged to be myself. I was told I was a good person, not the horrible person I'd been told I was my entire life. Then, during my rehab from a brain injury, and yes, I'm fine, I'm still recovering, but all's good, I saw a psychologist for support with mental health. During our sessions, he asked if I had ever heard of autism or suspected I might be on the spectrum. I was shocked and in some ways upset. I even rejected the idea at first. Over the next few months, I started researching. As I read and reflected, I had oh wow moments. Patterns from my whole life started to make sense. To be sure, I went for a full clinical assessment. A detailed developmental history was taken, and while I had been diagnosed with ADHD as a child, I was never given the proper support I needed. That diagnosis had largely faded from my mind as I grew up. That assessment confirmed what I had started to realize. Autistic level 2, complex ADHD, a stereotypic movement disorder, and mentions of auditory processing disorder. It wasn't a magical fix. It wasn't like a switch that just made suddenly everything easier. But it finally gave language and understanding to a lifetime of experiences, my struggles, my masking, my exhaustion, and that understanding matters. Getting that clarity gave me space to start thinking about the future and how to live in a way that actually works for me. After my diagnosis, I spent a lot of time learning, hyper-focusing really on everything autistic. I read books by autistic authors, looked into the neuroscience of how the brain is wired, and reflected on my own life. I spent months mourning the life I could have had if I'd been supported and understood. I still mourn it sometimes, it's too recent not to. Eventually, I decided to start making content about being autistic, partly to help others understand terminology and experiences, and partly as an outlet for myself. A way to journal my own journey as a late diagnosed autistic adult. This channel, this work, grows as I grow. Through past ups and downs and through future hurdles and joys, it's a place where I can be honest and hopefully help others feel less alone. If this resonates with you, know that you're not alone.